Hello, my name is Arthur, and in the last video we went about getting our search and replace bars working, and as near as I can figure they're reasonably bug-free. I haven't come across any bugs yet, so they seem to be working. In this video we're going to go across, clean up a little bit of script, and we're going to try to eliminate one of these globals here. So the global declared entry buffer for the search buffer, we'll try to change that. So let's start off with a little bit of organizing and cleaning. So we'll just do stuff like that, sort of organize that a little bit better. The first and most messy part of this, I think, is this function. So we have a whole bunch of commented stuff, and there's some things still that I think are not necessary. And one of the ones that I think is not necessary is right here. So if direction equals 0, we do that. If it's greater than or equal to 0, it will do this. And I'm not even sure on the equals to. So let's actually explore that a little bit. We want to get rid of things that aren't necessary because it makes it easier to understand what's actually happening. So we'll load up our test document. Let's increase the size of that. We'll do a search for iter. Okay, that did not highlight anything. So we don't have anything highlighted until we press the next button and the previous button. Okay, I don't think that's the way that we want it to act. Let's try the equal sign in there. And I think that'll get it to highlight. So we'll search the iter. We got the highlight now. Let's try the capital. The highlight moved. Everything seems to be in order. So let's do a search and replace. We'll replace that with XXXX. So we'll replace one. We'll replace all. That seems to be working still. Let's replace XXXX with iter. Nothing selected. So that may not be ideal. So let's just explore that a little bit. Okay, that time the selection came back. Alright, well that seems to be working reasonably. So I'm not seeing any bugs with that. We probably don't need these counts anymore either. It's a good way for debugging. Now, when I start deleting text like this, it's notable that I've made a backup. So I have a backup with all of these things still there. So let's just go forward cleaning this up. Now, this is actually the bulk of the mess here. So kind of where I start struggling is where messes start happening. So that reads a little bit more cleaner. And I don't think that there's anything superfluous left there. So this one's pretty straightforward. It won't slim down any. These ones are fine. This looks a bit lengthy, but everything here needs to be here. Maybe in the search, it's entirely possible that that could still be written better than it is. Because that's one that, as I mentioned before, when I was doing the syntax highlighting, whole word in particular, posed a little bit of an issue, but I think that that's just about as slim as it will get. Okay, these are fine. Search text is fine. We could take out the result printing. So that will stop it from printing there. At least I think that's all I took out. Yeah, that's all I took out there. Okay, for this one, the delete and insert text. This one is the other questionable one. So let's search that. We'll go to the next one, and that should be right inside of the signal. So we have that signal. Let's see. Search field changed. That pulls that out a little bit further than I want it to be. Let's just pull it back. I'll just pull it back like that. My formatting for my script is not beautiful. So we'll paste that into there. And we'll pull this one back the same way. And that should be good. So we'll come back up here. We'll replace this. Tuck this in and delete that. Because we only need the one function call. There's no sense having two function calls to do the exact same thing. So we'll do that, and we'll compile and test that everything's working. Then after this, we'll look at that the idea to change the way the search bar is declared. So that worked, that worked. And that worked. So everything looks like it's working there. No more printout. So the next thing is we're going to look at getting rid of one of these globally declared things. So the one we're going to do is entry buffer. So what we're going to do here is we're going to cut this out. Let's tuck that back up. Right up here at the top of all of the functions, we'll paste that in. We'll go like this. We'll just stuff that down there. And we'll call this function search buffer. Just like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to search for this keyword in the search and replace, and we're going to change them all to search buffer. So we'll replace all. And that was wrong. We'll have to undo that. We have to go whole word. We have to make sure it's whole word to replace all of those. So this one we can just get rid of now. So what we're going to want here is a GTK entry buffer. GTK entry buffer. We'll call it buffer. We'll go if not buffer, and we'll fill that in with a copy and paste that we'll get from the search bar function. And then we're going to go return buffer. So if we were to look at that like this now, what we've done is we've changed all of the places it was accessing that global declaration to a function call. So if we go down to do we not have that searched for? So if we go down to where that's at, we get key release. It should get us close to where that bar is created. Here it is. Okay, so down here, we're going to grab this right there. We'll copy it, zip back up to here, buffer equals, now field is also declared global. So when we want to change that, we could be like, make a function called entry field that does the exact same thing that this one's going to do, which is return a buffer. So now the trick to this is to make this static. So now this is going to remember the buffer. When the search bar is created, it's going to call this function. Buffer will not have a value. It will get initialized. And then any other time it gets called, it will just return that static variable. So the pointer to the buffer. So hopefully that makes sense. Now down in the search bar, we can take this out and we'll go GTK entry buffer buffer. So we declare it here really just to make the compiler happy, because otherwise it's going to be like, oh, I can't see that. And then we go buffer equals search buffer function call. And then down here, in the signal, instead of making the function call, will be direct. And we'll see if that works out. If not, probably we'd have to change this back to search buffer. But I don't think so. I think that this will work fine. Okay, so we're just missing a semicolon somewhere here. So that's right there. We're missing a semicolon. Save that. Did I not save that? Buffer. Oh, we're also missing the bracket. That explains everything. Missing two things. Alright, so that compiles. We will load something up. We'll search for iter. We find that. All of our options seem to work. We can replace them. We can replace all of them. It's still active, and we can put them back. And that all seems to be functioning the way that it should. So I would say that that's a first move into getting rid of our globally declared things, and I think that this is a reasonable and proper way to go about doing that. So that's it for this video. In the next video we'll carry on and see if we can make the script a little bit more organized and a few less things like this to clean things up a bit. And yeah, that's it. So I hope it was helpful, and until the next video, take care.